Hi, this is Mrs. Gurna, and I'm just going to make a quick video for you guys about Google Calendar and how Google Calendar is integrated with your Google Classroom, which means that it works right along with all of your Google Classrooms without you really having to do anything. But I'm going to show you how to use it to your advantage this year to make sure that you are able to manage your time, keep on top of all of your assignments, and just generally ensure that you have a very good and successful year. So I recommend to my students to use Google Calendar because they did stop issuing planners within the past few years. I know that they issued them to sixth graders still, but if you guys are anything like me, no matter what grade you're in, and I'm an adult, I can't keep track of a paper planner. I lose it, I leave it somewhere, or I just forget to write in it. It never occurs to me. But I miss things, or I miss appointments, or I miss uh, meetings, or I'm a student as well in online courses, and like I'll miss assignments and stuff if I don't somehow keep a calendar and keep myself responsible and aware of what I have to do and when. And so I started using Google Calendar, and I love it because it's digital, and just like any of the other Google stuff, you can access it from anywhere at any time as long as you have a phone or a computer or some sort of device, and it's wonderful. So I'm going to show you a couple of features, and I'm also going to show you some things about Google Classroom, and hopefully this is helpful to you guys. So the first thing that I want to do, we're going to be using this first period honors English with with Miss Knight, um, because I'm a student in her class, and she's been nice enough to let me use her class as a practice class. And when you're in your Google Classroom main page, you will see these little buttons here. The first one is to do. I don't think you guys have to review. This is only for teachers, but you'll also see calendar as well. So we're going to start with to do. To do is a pretty cool feature because it does show you all of your work in a different way. So this first category says no due date. So this is all for all of your classes, all of the assignments from your teachers that might not have a due date attached to them. And then we have this week. These are due this week, so it'll tell you when they're due and at what time they're due. And then we also have next week. All right, so it shows you what's going on next week as well. I don't have anything in later, and I'm not really sure what later shows you, but I just want you to sort of see that this is here. So the very first tab here says assign. Then if you want to just see what you're missing, go to missing, and it's going to only show you all of the stuff that you're missing. And if you go to done, it'll show you everything that you have done. I don't have anything here because I'm only in classrooms either as a teacher or as a student in order to help other teachers, and I don't actually do any other work. But you would have assignments in the done section that you've already completed and turned in or submitted. So that's the to-do list, and we're going to go back to our classes, and then you have your calendar. All right, so if you go to this calendar here and click on it, it will show you all of your classes and everything that you have to do in your classes in this sort of laid out like a week format, which is really nice. I like to see things. I'm a very visual person, and it helps me to understand what I have to do if I can see everything laid out like this. So again, I have a bunch of classes in here. You guys would have way less than this, but it would be for all of your classes. Or if you want it only to be for one class, you can select just one class, and then you only see what you have to do in that one class for the whole week. And then you can go back and forth between the weeks up here and see, what you have to do last week, what you have to do next week, what about the week after that. Maybe you want to see what kind of stuff you have due a week when you have something else going on, some sort of extracurricular, or maybe you have to be absent or something like that. So this is just another way to see everything that you have to do, and just use it however it works for you. So I'm going to go back to my classes, and we're going to go ahead and click on this class here. So when you open a class, it automatically starts off on the stream, but we're actually going to go to the classwork tab up here. And there's a couple cool things here. First off, you have view your work, which is a nice little feature. So you can see everything in that class that you have. You can see all of your work. You can see what's been assigned. You can see what's been returned. And most importantly, you can see if there's anything missing. So it'll show you everything that you have missing. Then you go back to that classwork tab, and then you have Google Calendar. All right, we're not going to talk about the class drive folder right now. We're only going to talk about the Google Calendar. Now, when we were in the main Google Classroom area in your classes here, you could see the week calendar view of all of your classes, or just one at a time. When you are in your individual class, this is where it would actually open up the Google Calendar for like your actual Google Calendar, so the Google Calendar app. And when it does that, every time you for each one of your classes, every time you try to open up the calendar, it's going to say add. So you want to add this calendar to your calendars. Right? What it means by this is over here you have your calendars. These are different calendars that maybe have different events on them. And you can check them or uncheck them so that they show up or that they go away. If you have everything checked at once, you end up with just a ton of different things, and sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming. Sometimes you only need to see something sometimes when you need to check it, or sometimes you only want to see one thing at a time. So this is how you manage that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to check, just to show you again how this works, I'm going to check red and black days, which is a calendar that I made for myself so that I could keep tabs on what days are red days and what days are black days. So when I check it, my red and black days show up, and they are with all of, they go along with all of what the red and black days for the entire year. So I did this for myself so that I would never be confused about what day it is. It took a bit of time, but if anyone wanted this red and black day calendar to add to their calendars, you could just email me and let me know. I'll share my email with you at the end of this video, and I'd be happy to share the red and black calendar for you so you can add it to your calendars. Now we have in other calendars, these are the calendars that other people might share with you. So if I shared red and black days, they would probably show up down here. I have the Columbia County School District, which I'm not sure if this shows up for students, but I think it would. It just has all the important days and things on here. So like first day of classes and all of the different events or teacher work days or anything like that that we might have, or holidays. I also have the holidays in the United States calendar. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to uncheck these so we don't have to see them. And here we have first period honors English. And notice it has shown up here. If you don't click add, if you don't go through every single one of your classes and click the calendar and then add the calendar to your calendar, you won't be able to see it here in Google Calendars, the actual program, the actual application, Google Calendars. So I really highly recommend you do that. And I really recommend that you use Google Calendars for other things as well. So for example, let's say you are in cheerleading. So I'm going to go ahead and click on a day. Maybe every Wednesday you have cheer practice. All right. And now this has shown up in my red and black calendars. Here, you want to make sure it's what it would be your name. I'm going to go ahead and put this under my personal calendar. That's not a school calendar. And I'm going to go ahead and call this cheer practice. All right, and then you have the date here. You can add a time. Let's say it's sometime after school. So we're going to say 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And then it's every Wednesday. So instead of having to make a new event every Wednesday, you can actually repeat events. So you could say every day. You could say weekly on Wednesdays. You could say every month on the first Wednesday, or every year on September 2nd, or every single day of the week, Monday through Friday, but not on weekends. So we're going to just choose weekly on Wednesday. Oh, and you can customize it as well. So you can do all, different, days of the week. So maybe you have Wednesday and Friday are your cheer practice. Okay. And you can even say it ends on whatever the last day of school is. So just say, June, I think it's June 4th, 2021. So you could say, not to repeat it after that date. And we're going to say done. And it's weekly on Wednesday and Friday. So now we're just going to save this. Oh, also, if you're doing something like maybe you have a little club or something like that, and you've got, you want to add guests, you can go ahead and type in their emails. If they're in this school system, they'll just pop up. So that's how you do that. You can add a location, so you can say where it is. You can add other information here. And another good thing to know is you can add notifications. So you can add notifications and you can customize when the notifications are. I don't know why this is clicking off like this. I think it still thinks I want to add guess. Click off of that. Okay, so you got 5 minutes before, 10 minutes before, an hour before, a day before. Maybe you want to remind yourself the day before that you're supposed to do that, so you can make sure to let your parent know so that they can come pick you up or something. Let's say you want your parent to be a guest. You want your parent to know when you have practice, so they always get a notification for it as well. You could really do anything and customize this to whatever your needs are. And of course, you can also come up with custom times to have your notification. You can also decide, you can add more notifications. So you could decide to have one 30 minutes and then 10 minutes. And you can also have it be a notification or an email. And for some reason I don't see on here. I know that I can do it if I edit the event. So I have cheer practice over here. I'm going to go ahead and click edit. All right. And down here, see here, it says notification, and there's a drop down menu. You could actually have an email or a notification on your phone. Now, I do want to show you again, so I'm going to close out of this, and I want to show you one more time how to edit it. All right, so I'm going to go back over to cheer practice, and then up here you've got this little pencil, right? And then here you have a trash can. So let's say Friday, September 4th, cheer practice is canceled because who knows why? Because there's a hurricane coming. I don't know. So let's go ahead and delete this. Do you want to delete all of the events? No, you only want to delete this day because it's not happening on that day. If you select this event, it will not mess up all of the Wednesdays and Fridays, in the future. It will only delete the one that is canceled. If you do this in following events, it'll delete everything after that event. And if you choose all events, it will be all the ones that you had for that from the beginning all the way down, all the way to the end. So only do this if you quit the cheer team or, whatever you have as your recurring appointment, you're no longer doing. So you would only want to do that if you're never doing it again. This event is really the one you want to do if just one gets canceled. So we'd say this event and it will cancel that. But if we look forward, you still have it on all of the other days. Now, that's probably about it for what you really need to know for Google Calendar. Again, if you guys are interested in anything that I've shown you as far as me sharing you the red day or the black day calendar, or if you need extra help and you'd like to know how to do other things in Google Calendars, please feel free to send me a message, send me an email. I'm pretty much available anytime. So my email is gurnac@columbiak12.com. And that's me. So if you start typing in Gurna, you would see Gurna J, that's Mr. Gurna, my husband. That's not who you want to email. You want to email Gurna C. It's got a picture of me. That's me with my glasses and just the sort of top of my head like I'm looking at you. And then you can get in contact with me, and I'll help you out with whatever you need. I've seen students use this with their whole schedule, which will be really tricky this year with the block schedule, but it's definitely possible. I've seen students do this, use Google Calendar just to remind themselves of things that they need to do. Maybe I should show you how to do that actually. I kind of faked you out with saying that I was done with this video, but I am going to show you one more thing, which is Google Keep. This is tasks, but I'm just going to show you Google Keep real quick, which is kind of a take a note on something. So I've got some things, some pictures here that I was using for making assignments. I think tasks is kind of a good like to-do list. So you could say add a task, get saxophone from, I spelled that wrong. All right, saxophone from Mr. Gurna's room. All right, and so then you would have sort of like a to-do list, and when you've done it, you can check it off. These is a good way to remind yourself to do things so that you don't forget. There's just lots of great features of Google Classroom, or I'm sorry, not Google Classroom, Google Calendar, that I think you guys would really find useful, and I highly recommend trying to do this stuff this year to keep yourself on track with everything that you have to do, and upgrade from a paper planner or a paper calendar to the 21st century and using Google Calendars so you have it everywhere that you go. I hope this was helpful to you all, and I look forward to hearing from those of you who'd like a little bit more information on Google Calendars. Thank you. Bye.